Are you into retro gaming? And check out Retro Million on Instagram to view the collection. Hey, what's up everybody? This is NexxDjinnGamer here with a new series I'm going to be starting today. It's going to be Call Center Fridays. Basically what I want to go ahead and do is it'll be random little multiplayer video gameplays, and it will be stories of my experiences as working, while working at a call center. Of course, I'm not going to say what call center it is or anything like that, or what company I'm answering the phone calls for, just because, I don't know how they are about it. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and, get started with a few different stories here. Basically, in this gameplay right now, I'm going to go ahead and get that out the way real quick. I'm running the AN-94 with the ACOG sight with fast mags with no camo on it. Just trying to get the golden guns, so I can go ahead and get the diamond camera for the assault rifle, and it looks like this gun is next. I'm about halfway there now. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with these stories here. So basically, what's it called? On the job itself, I don't know, call centers, before I thought, call centers were super professional. I mean, okay, of course they are professional because, of course, you got to treat the customers with the greatest utmost respect, because that's how every job is, especially with customer service. But for some reason, when I pictured call centers before I started working there, I don't know, I just pictured it being, suit and ties, super nice desks, just chilling, like really posted up in your job. But really, I mean, at a call center is super, I don't know, it's just different than what I guess you might picture it as. Anybody who knows, or worked at a call center before will know what I'm talking about. I'm sure it'll be way funny to anybody who's actually worked at a call center, because you'll know exactly what I mean by all this stuff here. So the first story I want to go ahead and talk about is this one guy, so basically he calls in, and so basically he calls in, asking for a credit on his account. And like, first off, like when people call and asking for a credit, I get it, you got to use your phone and such, but I mean, I have a job, that's why I'm, working there to pay my bills, so I mean, it just, when people call right off the bat, they'll call and, like, before they even, greeting plays, and it's like, damn, just getting started in the call, like 5-10 seconds in the call, bam, they just interrupt you. I want a credit. I mean, if credit, I guess, manners are maybe dead, who cares? But I don't know, I mean, is it too much to ask for please? Like, may I please have a credit? Or can you look into the account to see if I can get a credit? Or, something like that, just to, to build it up, or you'll get those customers that are completely opposite, that are way too nice. And they're like, you say, hey, how's it going today? Blah, 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 the little greeting. And then, they're just like, oh, it's doing great, oh, I'm doing so fantastic. How are you, sir? And they try and treat you with that super respect, like, it's like, okay, very nice person. And then, like, right when right when it's way too respectful, then a credit, is about to be asked for, because like, oh, okay, damn, they're about to ask for it, and here it goes, it just completely switches around. So, you go ahead and play the greeting, they come off with a super cheesy, oh, I'm doing great, sir, what about you, blah, 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 trying to, butter you up. Then out of nowhere it completely switches, so then they'll be like, yeah, look, I was just calling to see if I can get a credit by any chance, I'm really trying to, get a credit on my account so I can use my phone for the day. And it's like, of course, at the call center you gotta, it's not really scripted, because, we work completely unscripted, but, of course, working on a call center, of course, you develop your script. I guess working anywhere, you just develop what kind of things you say. And so, basically, like, of course, like when a credit calls, I'd be like, I'd be happy to go ahead and look over the account, and find out what kind of things, we can make, a valid adjustment for. And when you just say that, they're like, oh, yeah, please, thank you, God bless you, and like, they're just so kind, so kind. And it's like, okay, nice people. And then you go ahead and look in the account, and like, sometimes it can go either ways. So some customers, will come in with, like the account, just, haven't made a payment in a while, like maybe 1 or 2 payments, every 3-4 months or something crazy like that, and still the account, is still in existence. And, so they'll make the, not, making payments at all, calling and asking for credits, every day, every month, every hour even sometimes. It's crazy. But then, so of course, you got to look into the account. So, you take a look at the account, and you'll see, no payments made, no nothing, customer for like a month or two, with like no payments made, asking for a credit. So of course, you're, not able to make any kind of credit adjustments on the account for that way. So then they completely swap. So you come back on the phone and you're like, okay, I did go ahead and look over the account, and I couldn't find any adjustments, and they trip. Sometimes they trip, so they'll completely flip around and start going at you. So they'll just start letting loose, oh, you son of a bitch, blah, 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 you're crazy, blah, 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 and they'll just start going. Like, I think it was the funniest thing. This one chick, she called in for, a credit. She was saying, that she was, looking for a credit. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'd be happy to go ahead and look it over. And so I go ahead and, start looking into the account, and I really looked, through everything. And then when it came down, I told her, well, there would be no way I could, put any, adjustment on the account itself. She completely swapped around. It was so funny, just the way these people, talk to you. It's crazy how you get talked to over the phone. I guess it's the same way as Xbox Live, because over Xbox Live, people will say anything. Obviously, everyone knows that just because they think they're behind a microphone and everything, so there's no, human confrontation, and there's no, like, actual seeing of the person there, nothing, no physical harm can be done. It's all, verbal. So basically, she just lets loose. She's like, oh, you son of a bitch, and just going at it. Ends up, she ends up hanging up on me and calling everybody in my facility a cracker. It was one of the funniest moments I have ever seen. And of course, working at it, calls are back to back to back to back, so you don't have time, so you gotta type up the notes and all that kind of fun stuff. And you don't even have time to really, adjust to what you just heard. So like, that's so funny. And you gotta come on, of course, professional for the other customer, because no matter what, you can't ever let the anything get to you, because of course, people are mad, most of the time they're never mad at you, they're just mad at the company, for something, that they might have done, or for something that, just was, an accident, and of course, if it is an accident, of course it'll be fixed up. But I don't know, people just flip out sometimes. And another story, this guy calls in, right? And, I guess he was some old guy, which is cool, everyone needs a phone. But anyway, so, he calls in, and he was kind of, mumbling the whole time. It was kind of very hard to understand him, and I just couldn't really understand him. Of course, the headsets aren't the clearest, so who knows, he could maybe not even understood me that well. But, of course, I try and talk as, clearly as possible and as slow as possible so that everyone can, understand me just fine. But it's kind of difficult, especially with the speedy talking. It's hard to slow yourself down. It really is. Like, try doing it. If you're a fast talker, you'll realize what you'll know exactly what I'm saying. But with the actual guy itself, so he called in, right? And he was asking for, he said, I think I picked up that he was asking for $15. I guess he talked to a representative earlier that day, and from what he said, it was promised, $15 to his account. And of course, without, if a representative did promise a credit, and it's, stated in the notes, give them the credit, blah, 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 it was promised. Of course, we have to give the credit, because it was promised. However, I was looking through the notes, and the representative you talked to earlier notated something like this. Like, I think he said, called in about a credit, blah, 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 directed customer to a store in order to make a payment. Customer, was good with it, and everything was fine. And so I was looking at the account. I couldn't find, exactly what it was, and so I was trying to find out what exactly he was talking about with the $15. And every time, I kept asking him, I was like, okay, what would this $15 be for? And he's like, to use my phone. I was promised it, to use it all the way until the 15th, and so on and so on. And I was just, I was like, okay, well, of course, we can only make valid adjustments to the account, something that would actually, be on our part, a mistake on our part in order to get it, fixed up for you. And he just, wouldn't really listen, so, ends up going on. And of course, back to that kind of scripted thing, if, a person calls in for a credit, there's nothing really we could do. It kind of is super, super annoying. It annoys me probably more than the customer itself, But when you deny a credit, you got to kind of keep repeating the same line over and over and over again. Like, I'm sorry, I can't make an adjustment. And it's really agitating to even, have to repeat yourself over and over again. And some people just will not let it go. I was talking on the phone with this guy for about 11 minutes before he escalated to a supervisor because I wouldn't give him the credit. And of course, like, they just think, like, okay, escalate, cause a little bit of trouble and get the credit. But it's not the way it works, You just got to be professional with it, ask nicely, and as long as you make a payment, you're good to go. And then of course, then I transferred him to soup, and he escalated, just transfer it over. And thanks guys for staying tuned for this first little series video here. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Call Center Fridays. Once again, this is NexxDjinnGamer. Thanks, guys, for watching. Feel free to like, comment, rate, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. And see you guys next Friday with another whole bunch of stories here. Thanks for watching, guys.